My husband got my best friend pregnant 2 weeks into our marriage. Story time. I'm at an absolute loss. I have no clue what to do here. So my fiance Steve and I have been together for 6 years. And we have the most amazing relationship. After being together for so long and freshly married, we thought we'd go crazy and have a bit of fun. So I asked my fiance if he would be willing to have a...
Nope.
It would be a one-off experience for us both. So we agreed, we had a good chat about it, and I ended up asking my best friend to be a part of it. I thought we were close, we were comfortable with each other, we all knew each other, we respected each other. So fast forward to the night, we all had quite a lot to drink. To be honest, I mean, I don't remember a lot. The whole night just felt like a really, really exciting blur. Anyway, my best friend Amy called me last week and dropped an absolute bombshell. Ended up calling me whilst I was at work and told me that she was pregnant. And she said that she was 99.9% sure that Steve was in fact the father.
You are the father.
And he was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I knew this would happen. And I was like, sorry? He goes, yeah, I knew that the
Nope.
would split, but I didn't think anything bad would come of it. Steve, and then to add on top of that, Amy wants to keep the baby. I have no idea what to do in this situation.
Would I be in the wrong if I pressed charges on a Karen at McDonald's? So while letting my 31 female $4 play at McDonald's today, other moms, 4 women, decided to keep commenting on how I must have my hands full, each woman only having 1 or 2 children themselves. Well, they decided to keep talking amongst themselves rather loudly about my kids specifically. My 2-year-old was playing tag with a few older kids and just having a good time when one of the moms asked my 2-year-old how much older her sister was while pointing to me. I was weirded out when the lady started arguing with my daughter about me being her mom or her sister. I got loud and told the woman to stop talking to my daughter. The woman started telling me about how kids with kids is so disgusting. My parents should be ashamed and how it's such a bad example for my little sister. I look 35, by the way. Literally arguing that I had my hands full and I shouldn't have brought these kids out because they outnumber me. At this point, my oldest perks up and starts yelling at the woman saying, my mom is so old she makes Google look young. Thanks, kid. Then, another woman in the group loudly asked me how old I was, and I just laughed and said, older than you. The first one wasn't amused and kept calling me a liar. I just tried leaving and she called the cops on me. She stood behind my car until the officer got there. The lady just started screaming like a banshee, telling the officer that I was a minor with a stolen car trying to kidnap other children at McDonald's. The officer laughed so hard because we graduated from the same high school. The officer then stated this to the woman, then proceeded to tell the woman that I'm indeed older than all of them and they all got charges pending now for wasting his time. Also, McDonald's staff gave up the footage of the first lady yelling at my 2-year-old, so harassment of a minor on her. Would I be in the wrong if I pressed charges on the Karens at McDonald's? Am I in the wrong for refusing to donate my kidney to my dying sister because she got with my high school bully? I'm a 35-year-old gay man. When I was in high school, I was bullied severely by Darren. I won't go into the details, but it was really bad. Past the point of typical high school douchebaggery. In my sophomore year, I made the mistake of coming out to one of my friends, who promptly spread this information around the school. Before this, Darren had targeted me for being unathletic and wearing glasses and had done this to a couple other kids as well. But after I was outed, it was only me, and it was only because of my sexuality. After high school, I moved away for college. I made friends, even got a boyfriend, and pretty much forgot about Darren until one Thanksgiving, my sister Ellie brought home her boyfriend, Darren. No joke, the first thing he said when he saw me was, "Damn, Ellie, you didn't tell me your brother's a FAG?" Ellie fucking laughed, as did my dad. I was kinda stunned, but I didn't yell or start a fight. I just got up and walked out. After the fact, my family tried to play it off as Darren was just joking because he was nervous meeting the family. And they told me that he and Ellie were serious, so I had to get over it. I just told them all that I wouldn't be attending any event where Darren was. In private, I told Ellie that I felt hurt that she dated Darren, knowing what he did to me. She basically called me too sensitive and told me that she has a right to date who she likes. Which, yeah, she does. Since then, I've been putting distance between myself and my family, who seem to have readily accepted Darren into the fold. Recently, my mom reached out to tell me that Ellie was in the hospital and needed a kidney transplant. The rest of the family had been tested and none of us could donate. And my mom wanted me to get tested because I'm her full brother, with a high likelihood of a match. The thing is, after all these years, Ellie is basically a stranger to me. If I were to do this, I'd have to drive 3 states back to the hometown, miss who knows how much work, and give a piece of my flesh, all for a woman who dated and eventually married the guy who made my high school days a living hell. I told my mom that I wouldn't be getting tested, and she freaked out at me over the phone. I quickly hung up on her, but before I did, I heard her call me vindictive and a monster for refusing to save my sister's life. I admit I feel pretty guilty about it, but am I in the wrong? Am I in the wrong for dumping my girlfriend after she expected me to pay for everyone on her birthday? I, 24 male, and my girlfriend, 24 female, have been dating for 4 years. On my girlfriend's 24th birthday 2 weeks ago, I booked a table at a pretty nice restaurant for me, her, and 4 of her friends. I want to clarify beforehand that I earn quite a bit more than my girlfriend. I cover all rent and utilities for our one apartment, while she covers household expenses like groceries and such. While at the restaurant, I noticed how she and all of her friends ordered some of the most expensive items on the menu. At the time, I thought I would only be covering mine and my girlfriend's bill, so I wasn't really concerned. When the bill arrived, the waiter asked if I would like to split the bill. I said yes. I told the waiter what my girlfriend and I ordered would be on me, and the rest should be decided between her friends. The bill totaled around 1,100 euros. I remember the smiles being wiped off of their faces as soon as I said that. I ended up paying for my girlfriend and my's food while her friends paid for theirs. I remember the car ride home being awfully silent. I kept asking my girlfriend if there was something wrong, but she kept insisting that she was just tired. And no, she wasn't just tired. My girlfriend ended up giving me the silent treatment for the next week. I would keep asking her if something was wrong, but she would always refuse to say what the issue was. The thought of me not paying, being the culprit, kept creeping into my mind, but I would always reassure myself by telling myself my girlfriend wouldn't be dumb enough to expect me to pay for everyone's food. I just lost it last Monday and demanded an answer from her. She ended up telling me that I embarrassed her in front of her friends by not paying for everyone. I asked her why it was my responsibility to pay. She told me that since I organized everything and I was the man, I was obliged to pay for everyone. We ended up getting into a heated argument, and I ended up staying at my parents' house for the next couple of days to gather my thoughts. I came home last Friday and her attitude towards me didn't change one bit. When I confronted her again, she told me to transfer the money her friends paid for the food, and only then would she talk to me. We got into another heated argument and I broke up with her then and there, telling her to pack her things. While leaving, she called me a broke boy and wished me good luck in finding another girlfriend with my brokey mentality. I almost immediately regretted dumping her on the spot for something that in the grand scheme of things is really small. She sent me an apology yesterday for calling me those names, but she insisted on me paying back her friends if I wanted to make our relationship work. I've been a mess since. I don't want to throw away 4 years with someone that I consider to be a future mother of my kids. I could have given her friends a heads up that I wouldn't be covering for them, and I know that's completely my fault. But her behavior over the past 2 weeks has also been quite concerning to me. But again, I love her too much for this situation to be the end of our relationship. I just want to swallow my pride and send her friends the money and forget about everything. Did I overreact? Am I in the wrong here? Am I in the wrong for body shaming my girlfriend's friend who won't shut up about how she doesn't like white guys? I, 22 male, have a girlfriend, 20 female, and she has this friend, 21 female, who is completely unbearable. Her entire personality is about how she doesn't fuck white guys and constantly goes on rants about how white guys are bad at sex or how they can't handle her, blah, 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 blah. I get that people have preferences, but she always finds a way to integrate into any conversation her sexual preferences. It's like, we could be talking about what we had for breakfast, and she would be like, oh, you had a Pop-Tart? I once gave this black guy a Pop-Tart after he was done fucking me. I never would have given a white guy a Pop-Tart because he wouldn't have fucked me good enough to deserve it. That's what I mean when I say it's her whole personality. The incident happened when she told my girlfriend in front of me that she needs to experience a black D once in her life. My girlfriend has never banged a black dude, and she looked at me, smiled, and faked a laugh like, oh, just kidding. My response is where I might have been an a-hole. This friend is a bigger girl, probably like size 18 to 20 in pants. I said, I speak for the white guys when I say we will gladly give white girls your size to the black guys. You may not want to fuck us, but we don't want to fuck you either. Black guys tend to like big girls. She shut up real quick. But after the hangout, my girlfriend said that I need to apologize to her because her friend speaks that way out of insecurity. She knows that she's bigger than the rest of the group, and she says these things to cope. I said I was fine, albeit annoyed, but fine until she insinuated that my girlfriend should cheat on me. I'm refusing to apologize until she apologizes for that. So, am I in the wrong?
Am I wrong for yelling at my boyfriend for making me leave my best friend's wedding? My boyfriend, 27, and I, 26, have been together for 2 years. He's a good at heart and is normally rational, but his one issue is that he expects to accompany me in every occasion, no matter how big or small. He even went with me to my ex-boyfriend's funeral after days of begging. Oh God, no. Now, my best friend got married a few days ago. It was a very small and only close family and friends were invited. My boyfriend couldn't come because of the +1 rule. He pitched a hissy fit saying my best friend has no respect for my relationship and was shocked when he learned that I was still going to attend. He told me that if he can't go, I'm expected to not go as well, but that is my best friend and I had to respect her rules. He gave me an ultimatum, either we go together or I stay home with him. I ended up going because again, I respected my friend's rule. He was angry with me and kept calling the entire 2-hour drive and then stopped. Later, I got a text from his friend telling me that my boyfriend got into an accident and was taken to the hospital. I freaked out and he gave me the address and I had to leave the wedding and told my friends why. I was crying the entire drive home and kept calling his friends but got no response. I arrived at the hospital and asked my boyfriend and they checked and told me he wasn't there. My anxiety reached 110% as I kept calling his friends one by one. I just went home and there he was, along with his friend. He saw me and said that he was sorry, but this was the only way he could get me home after I left him alone. After the initial shock, I just blew up yelling at him about lying and making me leave my friend's wedding and having me literally go to the hospital and freaking out because of him. I kicked his friend out and we got into an argument. He kept talking about how much I love him, but I still left, which is my own doing and not his, and he was just trying to see if I really chose my friend's wedding over him. He then argued that my friend caused this and I shouldn't agree with her to exclude him. I said what he did was horrible and called him horrible and then went to my room. It was awful because my friends kept calling to check in on him because they thought he was really at the hospital. He said I overreacted and that I yelled at the wrong person. Am I the asshole?
Today I messed up by staying in touch with my psych ward friend. A few months ago, I was in a youth psych ward due to depression. I met a girl who would always listen and be super nice to me, but also tell me unsettling things, like having abused animals in her childhood, being able to turn her empathy off, wanting to unalive her parents and stuff like that. I was bored and depressed, thrilled by this unique friendship and thinking nothing of it since we were both locked away. However, soon after my release, she successfully contested her court order and was discharged against medical advice. We continued to text after that. I realized that I was the only person she could confide in and felt bad for her. She would tell me about how bad she was doing and about her unaliving thoughts. Until one day, she sent a voicemail telling me how she was planning a whole rampage to unalive all the people that had wronged her. Alarmed, I went to the police who, after questioning me, paid her a visit. They called me and said that they didn't think she was a danger at all and was probably just angry when saying that. Naturally, she concluded that it was me who had betrayed her, but I tried my best to convince her it had probably been by my parents who had checked my phone and reported it, and at least she pretended to believe me. Fast forward to today. I suddenly noticed a photo that she had sent without any context. When I clicked on it, my jaw dropped. It showed her posing with bloody hands and face, a lighter in her hand, and a burning stove in the background. I concluded the worst and went to the police ASAP. After further questioning, they told me that they had already known about it and that she had caused a decent fire in an apartment block and smashed some windows after a fight with her parents. Fortunately, no one besides her was hurt. They thanked me for providing them with further proof and told me that she would probably go back to the psych ward. When I left the interview room, I honestly couldn't believe my eyes when I saw her, sitting in the hallway, looking at the door. Our gaze met and I think we were equally shocked before I quickly walked away. I feel like I'm in deep trouble. Eventually, she'll be released again, and there's no denying that I snitched on her.